Josh, good to see you, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, no worries, man. Good to see you again, I think. I
Yeah,
think
it's
I've
been a
spoken to
while
you
since La
before.
Brea.
Yeah,
We're going a couple years back
yeah,
with La Brea. Good to see you again, man.
yeah. Likewise.
Dude, this show is so much. I love this show. There's so much lovable shows like this, right? Because it's like that week to week kind of like what's gonna happen next and everything. And season ones are always interesting because it's equal playing field for everyone, right? It's equal playing field
Yeah.
for you because you've never played this character before. Season two could be a little bit of both. You're still trying to figure things out, or you're more familiar. What was that like for you of season two of the hunting party with your character?
It was, we knew that there was going to be some big character developments, especially with the end of season one, with the information about Lazarus. So for me, there was a sense of like slipping into an old pair of shoes with Shane, but also kind of preparing myself for a very tumultuous ride because the arc that Shane has is quite circuitous. It fucking goes left, it goes all over the place. He's fighting off a lot of different ideas of who he is.
Mhm.
So I knew it was going to be a bit of a bumpy ride. But also like Shane's such a fun character to just jump back into. He's the hammer of the group. He asks the kind of silly questions. He provides a little bit of the gallows humor and levity to these morbid situations and bounces off Bex and Hasani in a really fun way. So
Mhm.
yeah, I was just super pumped to be able to play again, man, and know that season two we got a little bit more leeway. We can take this, be a little bit wackier, lean into the group banter, but also like have these heightened serial killers,
Yeah.
which was great, and these incredible actors come into play with us. So it was just all good things, man.
Absolutely. I do want to go back to season one because we didn't have a chance to chat about season one. I talked to Melissa and Patrick, but I remember like just seeing kind of the vignettes about this show and like reading the log lines and being like, this is very unique, I feel like, this concept and everything. What was that like getting those scripts originally? Like, did you notice right out the gate, wow, this is a cool, unique crime show?
Definitely,
Yeah.
man. I mean, like reading the first pilot and these things always change and the show kind of like learns who it is as it goes on. So things changed a lot. And the original pilot was very different to what we saw, but it still had the spirit of what the show is now,
Mhm.
where it's like all procedurals have a format. They have like a case of the day, a case of the episode, with like these character arcs that go arc over the procedural element. And the good ones have a little bit of something extra, a
Yeah.
little bit of the references that they gave us were fantastic. Like Zero Dark 30, Sicario, these kind in terms of like the visual
Oh,
style, and
Sicario.
then just
Yeah.
like they would, yeah, like dark and kind of brooding and a lot of haze. But then these killers were kind of like a little loopy and there was a little bit of Hannibal going on, like flayed bodies and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I was like, oh, this has got some spice, This isn't just like a run of the mill procedural. And the character backstories were what, drew me in. This idea of nature versus nurture with Shane, and this idea of the found family. And so all these elements made it a very compelling idea. And that's what certainly sucked me right in. And now here we are.
Absolutely. I, I'm also a filmmaker, so my filmmaking like hat kind of asks you this next question, and I feel like it's different because I know the pace of filming these is very quick sometimes, and then like because there's a lot of episodes,
Yes.
but yeah, but I'm just wondering. So there might be a scene we see, and it's like 2 minute kind of dialogue scene, and then we go on to the next scene, right? But I know that there's a chance that even though we just see 2 minutes, that scene might have taken you the whole afternoon to film or like longer than what
Hmm.
we see. Same with like La Brea as well. When those big scenes happen, right? Like those longer scenes, do they feel like their own mini project or mini movie, or do they overall feel part of the hunting party?
It's interesting, man. You kind of got to like have two lenses on in your brain. You got to have your micro and your macro. So you got to know where it fits into the grand scheme of things
Yep.
because you're bringing energy in and you're bringing energy out, and you're coming from somewhere and you're going somewhere else. So that's really important. But you've also got to be able to like go, okay, I've got that. I've prepped. I know where this sits in the grand scheme. Now I need to throw that shit away and just focus on like the now, and how to make this scene have its own kind of arc, go somewhere. So it's not just because a lot of these procedurals, are exposition dumps. We've got to tell the story as efficiently as possible to the audience. There's a lot of threads going on. These are complex cases, so we got to get that information out. So a good director will take a big chunky exposition and either visually tell a story around it so that the exposition weaves in seamlessly and you're kind of distracted by other interesting things. So you forget that you're just being fed information. But as an actor, you got to kind of find out what's your point of view about this, like, so yes, you're thinking about the grand scheme of things, but you are spending, 3-4 hours on one scene. So you've got this opportunity to like create little grooves in the snow, and find different ways to tell this little mini story, whilst also being aware that you've just come from somewhere and somewhere else. And sometimes where you've come from and where you're going is the key to unlocking that little mini thing.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Absolutely. No, that's so well said. Oh man, you and I could probably have like a whole podcast here just talking about these things. I know this is my guy here, like about that, because these are the things I think about, right? Like I think about these things, right, from a filmmaking perspective, like the audience and like everything. But last question, episodes rolling out of season 2 of The Hunting Party. I did kind of want to ask. You brought it up at the top. The excitement of, a lot of cool guest stars for season 2, Eric and Finn McCormick, for example, were so good. Anything else specifically you were excited about that's a season 2 exclusive about The Hunting Party compared to season 1 that we might not had a chance to kind of, dive into as much that we are for this season that excites you from a storytelling perspective?
From a storytelling perspective, the wider conspiracy of the pit, like there's some really interesting, kind of quite relevant, like thematics that the conspiracy element of it all explores, and also just from a fun point of view, like the action and we get some wicked fight scenes coming up. So we were just filming some the other day, and it's going to be chaos.
Absolutely, can't wait for the episodes to continue to roll out. Josh, good to see you again, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Likewise, Petey. Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
That was awesome.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.